Welcome everybody to our Greene Acres and happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Today's video I'm going to show y'all 12 easy DIY projects that I'm going to work on for Christmas and the holidays. I hope you enjoy the video and get lots of inspiration and ideas for your home. The first project we're going to work on is going to be a bucket that I got at Goodwill. Now I purchased 2 of these because I knew when I saw these back in the summer I could do something with this for winter and for Christmas. So I paid $2.99 for it, but you can pick up little buckets sometimes at Dollar Tree. All I did was I spray painted it white, and now I'm going to take one of my favorite transfers, and this comes from the Vintage Label transfer sheet. You get a lot of transfers on this sheet, and I will link it down below, but it is some of my favorites and I am still using them. All I did was apply that transfer to the front. Now I'm going to put some little filler in it. I'm just using some little leftover shopping bags, and I got these cute little faux snowballs, and you can get these most anywhere also. I picked these up at Dollar General for $5. I'm just going to put those in my little bucket, add a little bow to the front, and now we've got a great little bucket of snowballs to set out in our winter and our Christmas decor. Now I'm going to show you another version of the bucket. I did it in white again, but I'm going to take these really pretty transfers that I just received, and these are called the Classic Christmas transfer sheets. You get over 25 designs, and I think the price for these are around $16. So you get a lot of designs, but these include birds, holly berries, a lot of, greenery, and you also get a couple little bows. So these are really fun to really add some detail to some of your projects. I don't know if you've ever used transfers, but if you have, you know how easy they are to apply. But you just, apply it. It comes with a little transfer tool. You go over it with the clear backing just to make sure it adheres to your base really well. And then all I did was I just put some little yarn Christmas trees in it with some greenery. And now it was that simple to just upcycle a cute little bucket that I got at Goodwill. I'm going to show you an idea for a piece that I got at a consignment store a few years ago. I got this really pretty reindeer. He's metal, and I've used him this color for several years. I want to give him a little refresh for this year. I went out, I spray painted him white. I went around the edges, I gave him some distressing, and just tied a little fur collar around his neck. Now he's got a whole new little winter theme. The next project is going to be an upcycled wall decor piece. My friend Steven at Steven's Antiques asked me back during the summer if I wanted this, and I said absolutely. So I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to make something really pretty with it for Christmas. I'm going to take this piece of JRV Christmas Stag Decoupage paper, and my friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby, she sells this, and I'll have the link to this down below in my description box. But all I did was I cut out the deer. I thought he fit perfectly on this piece of canvas, and then I went around, I cut as much of the excess paper as I could off, but a lot of it will not show because I'm going to have a white background. Now I'm using liquid patina by DIY, and Jackie also sells this in her shop. But I just work in sections, and I apply a lot of the liquid patina onto my surface, and then I just lay down my paper, and like I say, I work in sections with my brush, and then I roll over it with a brayer just to flatten it out really good, make sure it adheres well, and this way it gets out any wrinkles and bubbles. Now I just went through, did the same thing to the top, applied the liquid patina, and just laid down my paper. Just be careful when you go over it with a brayer so you don't tear your paper. The next couple of projects, I'm going to show y'all how to use milk paint. If you've never used milk paint, there's a little bit of a process that goes with it, but it's super easy and it'll give you that chippy, distressed look. I'm using Sweet Pickins milk paint and it comes in a ton of colors. But again, my friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby, she sells this and I'll link it down below. So the first project I'm going to use this on is going to be this little thrifted cutting board. I paid $2.99 for it. I'm going to flip it over and use the back. Now, anytime you're using milk paint, you have to mix it. You want to do 1 part powder and you want to do 1 part water. And that's all you have to do. The only thing when you use milk paint is you cannot reuse it. You cannot, store what you have left and use it at a later time. You need to use it all at the time, when you mix it. And so I mix it real good, and it will be a little bit watery, but it's got a great texture in it, and that's what gives you the chippy look that will make it release from your base. And a lot of times if you apply heat to it with a blow dryer or a heat gun, you can see that crackle effect happen right before your eyes. Now I put 2 or 3 coats on this. I use my blow dryer in between applying my layers, and I got some great chipping. Now you will want to go over this and seal it, because if you don't, it will continue to chip. Now I'm using a JRV stencil, and also this will be linked down in my description box at Ruth and Ruby. She sells JRV stencils, but I love that one and I thought it fits so good on the cutting board. Now this is some ribbon that I got from Amazon, but I'm going to tie a pretty bow using this little rustic ribbon, and this ribbon comes on this little wood spool. So once your ribbon's used up, you can use that little wood spool. You can decorate with it. You can put little bottle brush trees in it around Christmas time, but I will have it linked in my Amazon store. But I think it makes beautiful ribbon to make some really pretty rustic bows. Now while I had my milk paint mixed up and I had some left over from the previous project, I'm going to grab another, project to work on because I don't want to waste the paint. I had this wood tray and I had already sealed it because I thought I would chalk paint it and I didn't want the wood to bleed through. But I went over it, the top and the bottom, with my milk paint, and you just, like I say, you want to work in layers. Do 1 layer, dry it, and do another layer. And do as many layers as you need to get the desired, paint on it that you want. And look at all the chippy goodness. And again, you want to go over this with a top sealant. If not, it's just going to keep chipping off and you're going to get a lot of chipping, because you'll see when I go to style this, I have not sealed mine, but you'll see how much it has chipped. But I love that. Now this little stencil is in my Amazon store. I'm just going to put, this one on it. I love the French writing. And this piece I can leave out all year long. The next project is going to be a fun one because, y'all, I love to upcycle sleighs. And anytime I see them at the thrift stores or at yard sales, I always pick them up and I always save them for the winter and the Christmas season. This one had a little bit of glued on glitter at the bottom, so I'm just going to go in with some sandpaper, remove as much of it as I can, and then I'm going to use some white linen chalk paint and go over it. I gave it a couple of coats. Now again, I'm going to use this same little French wording stencil that I have in my Amazon store, and I'm going to use part of it and put it on one side of the sleigh. And then in a minute, I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can turn the little sleigh around and put on the other side. So I stenciled, I let that dry, and now I'm going to use these vintage label transfers, and this is how many you get on a sheet. And y'all, I've been using these on so many projects, so you get a lot of transfers for your money. And again, I'll have these linked down below, but they are some of my favorites. So I added just a little transfer to the top, just where I had that open space, and I added a piece of totally dazzled bling to it. just to give it a little bit more detail. And now we got a great little shabby chic sleigh. Now on the other side of the sleigh, I'm going to take this sheet of mesh stencils, and I will have these linked down below, but you get a ton of different, assorted type of stencils on this sheet for Christmas. And also I want to just show y'all that I'm styling my pieces with the bluestone cedar pick, and I'm going to have this link down below too. It is featuring these beautiful little blueberries, and blueberries are so trendy right now, but this is a beautiful piece of greenery. So if you want some really pretty picks for the Christmas and the winter season, I highly recommend these, and I will, like I say, I will have them linked below. So I added a transfer from the vintage label transfer sheet, and I also used that little mesh stencil, and I decorated the other side of the sleigh. Now y'all know I love to make yarn covered cone trees, and I've made several in previous videos. This one I'm going to show you how to make out of just rolling up a piece of poster board into a cone and then just tape it up. Now I'm going to just secure the bottom part of the yarn to get it started around the bottom with some hot glue, and just go around and hot glue it in different places until you get the bottom ring covered. Once you do that, then all you want to do is just start wrapping your yarn around your cone, and you only want to hot glue as you need to, and you want to push your yarn down as you go as needed. Now the yarn I'm using come from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Truly Teddy, and it is so soft it feels just like a teddy bear. Now once you get to the top, just go around the top of the tip. You need to hot glue, where you need to, and just wrap it around, get your tip covered, trim it off, and that's all you have to do. These little cone trees are so easy to make, and once you've got your yarn, I've made two really nice size large cone trees out of one skein of the yarn. So I got, two cone trees out of, my yarn. So now I'm going to use another type of yarn. This you can purchase at Walmart. It's more, a real soft like velour feel to it. I'm going to do the same thing, but out of one piece of poster board, I've got two cones. So I've got a large one, and then out of the rest of my poster board, I made this smaller one. And like I say, you just wrap your poster board around in a cone shape. You tape it, or you could glue it if you want to, but the tape holds really well. And I'm doing the same thing with this one. I just wrap till I get to the top, attach some hot glue, get your tip covered, trim it off, and now you've got some really easy and inexpensive little yarn Christmas trees. For old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. Now I'm going to show you a fun project using a thrifted silver tray and some Totally Dazzled bling. Totally Dazzled has so many new jewelry accessory pieces that we can use on our projects now, and I'm going to leave a link down to their website down below. But they have some rhinestone appliques. They come with like a little sticker back, and all you do is put a little paper off, and they will stick to your projects. This was the longest one that I had, and you're going to see I'm going to trim off the ends of it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 4 of these little appliques, and I'm going to make a Christmas tree on my silver tray. Now you can use any kind of tray that you want to. I'm going to just leave mine silver, and I'm not going to paint it or anything. You could, if you wanted to, but I think for the holidays, I love the silver, and I think it really goes well with the silver rhinestone appliques that I'm using. Now I'm just placing mine on my tray just to make sure they're going to have a good fit, and I am overlapping them in down the center. And then for the topper, I'm using a piece of Totally Dazzled jewelry. It's just a brooch, and all you have to do is remove the pin part of the brooch, and it'll lay flat. Like I mentioned, these appliques are so easy to apply. They have a sticky back, so all you do is remove the paper and you just stick them on your project. These appliques come in so many different sizes and different types of rhinestones. So I hope you'll go out and check out Totally Dazzled and order some of these, because I think you will love them for your projects. And you can use these on so many things. Now I just worked my way up to my, my silver tray. Just kind of place them in the center and getting them placed on my tray as best I could. When I got to the top, I just removed the pin off the brooch and I applied it using a little bit of hot glue. But you can use anything for the topper that you want, but I thought this just kind of topped it off. Now I'm going to show you another fun project to work on. And this is these little wood cutout trees. These come from Dollar General and you can see they were $1. I'm going to take the milk paint, I'm going to mix up a little bit more, and I'm going to paint these little trees. Now the color I'm using in this is called Flour Sack, but like I mentioned, they have a ton of colors to choose from. I'm just going to, I went over my little trees first with antique wax, just to give them a little bit of a brown base. So when I go to distress them, a little bit of the brown will come through. I just went over them with the milk paint. I went over them with my blow dryer. And then I'm just going to put them back together and they just insert up through the center. And they're just three-dimensional. I did 2 of them and look how cute these are. These are some little cute pieces that are fun to work on. But they just add so much to your trays and your little Christmas vignettes. Next, I'm going to show you a thrifted rolling pin, and rolling pins are so popular, and you can find these a lot of times at the thrift stores, very inexpensive. I just take a rolling pin. I got a piece of sheet music from an antique store. I think I paid a couple of dollars, and I got several of them. And not to mess up my rolling pin or my sheet music, all I'm going to do is I cut it down to size for my rolling pin, and I'm going to tape it on the back. Now this way I can remove it if I want to and change it out. And like I say, I'm not damaging my rolling pin or my sheet music. Once I get it taped on, then I'm just going to add some decorative embellishments to it. I put a little greenery on it and a little bow. And this is a great piece to set out now in your Christmas vignettes, just to add a little bit of character and, just get unique with your decorations. Should old acquaintance be forgot? Next project, I'm going to use some scrap pallet wood, and y'all know I always have scrap wood around Ben's all the time getting pallets, and he cuts it up and I get the pieces, and I use them on so many projects. But scrap wood pieces make such great little filler pieces to add to your vignettes, and I love to make them for Christmas. And so I'm going to use the transfer sheets that I've been using in this video, because the detail on these are absolutely beautiful. So I just painted a couple pieces of my wood white, and I applied that transfer to it. And now this one, I'm going to add one of my favorite stencils, and this one is linked to my Amazon store. I'm just going to use the Christmas, and then on the other side I'm going to add another one of the poinsettia transfers. Now these transfers are fun, and why I love transfers so much is you can get creative with them, you can layer them, you can really just, create a piece of art with them. This one had a few pieces of like berries and a few sprigs of like holly. I just cut those out and I added those to my transfer just to make it a little bit more full. Now the third piece of wood, I just left it rustic and natural, and I just add a Let It Snow stencil. This is also in my Amazon store. I have a ton of stencils in my Amazon store, and I'm just going to go around randomly with some white chalk paint and add some snowflakes. And I think these little signs turned out so cute. And like I say, they were free to me, just, and being able to get creative and using some supplies that I had on hand, just, added some graphics to them. And now I got some great little filler pieces to add into my little Christmas vignettes.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old
Okay, y'all, we are about to wrap up this video. I appreciate y'all coming over today. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. It would mean the world to me to hit that red subscribe button. And also make sure to go over and follow me on all the social media platforms. Remember, I upload a video every week at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I hope to see y'all again next Monday. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope every one of y'all are having happy holidays. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.